Hello and welcome to Books of Blood. My name is John, and today I've got an all-new original tag for you guys. This is the Horrors of Social Media tag. Alright, so what the Horrors of Social Media tag is I've taken six areas of social media. And basically the questions are going to be, there's a question for each one, but each question is kind of twofold, all right? Now, when I say a horror character, because you'll see in the questions I'll mention horror character, all right? That means it can be from any medium. It can be from books, it can be from movies, it can be from TV. If there's a horror character on the radio that you know about, that'll be great too, or podcast. I don't care. Okay, just as long as it is a horror character or a character from horror movies, TV, books, what have you. All right, so that being said, let's go ahead and get underway with the questions, and I'll give you my answers that I came up with and why. And then at the end of this, I will tag some people because I've got about 11 people to tag. Okay, so anyway, first up we have Facebook. Which horror character would you be most likely to accept a friend request from, and which would you be least likely to accept a friend request from? Alright, so for the friend request that I would accept, I am going to go with Danny Ardor from Midsummer. And the reason I say that is because if you've seen Midsummer, at the beginning of Midsummer, she's trying to find out what is happening with her sister. She can't get an answer from her. You already know that her sister is schizophrenic or has mental issues. And then, and this is kind of a prologue, I guess you could say, before she heads to Sweden. But Danny finds out that her sister has committed suicide. I'm sorry, trigger warning on that. And has also murdered Danny's parents, all right? And there is the scream or the cry of anguish that comes out of Danny when she finds this out. It just absolutely devastated me, okay? And, as somebody that has had to deal with a sudden death of a loved one, I can completely understand where Danny is coming from. And if anybody at that particular moment needed a friend, it would be her. So I would so quickly accept a friend request from her. There's just no issue about that. All right, so as for the one I would not accept a friend request from, I'm having trouble with that word, I would have to pick Chucky. Yes, Chucky from the Child's Play movies. And the reason being is because Chucky is one of those horror characters that just does not know how to shut the hell up. I just get a feeling he would just be blowing up my feed with all kinds of stuff that he thinks everybody wants to hear, but nobody really wants to hear it. All right? So that is why I would not accept a friend request from Chucky. All right? So there you go. Those are my answers for Facebook. All right. Okay. All right. Number 2, Instagram. Which horror character would you be most likely to follow, and which would you be least likely to follow? So for the most likely to follow, I think I would follow Kevin Wendell Crumb from Split. All right? Because I get a feeling that if I follow Kevin Wendell Crumb, all of his other personalities, and he has 24 counting the Beast, and I don't think the Beast would follow, but I think all the other 23, and I think it would be so cool to wait, to check my phone and just see this long list of all of Kevin Wendell Crumb's personalities going, you know, Kevin Wendell Crumb is now following you, blah, blah, blah is now following you, blah, blah, blah is now following you, Patricia is now following you, blah, 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 Hedwig is now following you. You know, just see like 23 separate is now following you because they all decide they want to follow me on Instagram. You know, at least I think all 23 of them would want to follow me, you know, or all 24. But I don't think the Beast would. And maybe it was Patricia. Yeah, Patricia, she might not want to either. She's a little bit, I think she's a little bit too prim and proper for Instagram. You know, I think she might, I don't know, she might not, I don't think she'd take too well to social media. I don't know. Who would I not pick? Okay, I would not want, or I would not follow Buffalo Bill from The Silence of the Lambs. And the reason being is because I think if I did follow him, I think he would want to share his crafts with everybody. You know, it'd be like, take this picture of of the suit that he's making. Of course, you know what the suit's made of. It's made of people, you know, and I can just see him saying, you know, or doing instructional videos on how to make your own suits and out of people and things. And I also think that when he talks about where he gets the material, I think he would be a shamer, because if you remember at the whenever he met up, whenever Clarice Starling came to his home and was trying to ask about the girl that disappeared, and he's like, oh yeah, was she like a kind of a fat person or whatever, you know? I think that would be, he would do that throughout his feeds, and I don't want that. I don't want to shame anybody. And if I shamed anybody just now, I apologize. That's not what I'm trying to do. Anyway, but yeah, I don't want Buffalo Bill to follow me on, and I wouldn't follow him either. I would if he followed me, I would deny him. I'd block him. You know, I'd even report him or whatever. I don't know. All right, number 3, Twitter. Which horror character would have the best tweets and which horror character would have the worst tweets? All right, now I don't know if you consider this to be a horror movie. I do, all right? You know, you can consider it a crime movie, a horror movie, a serial killer movie, but I think John Doe from Seven would have the most out-of-this-world tweets. You know, I think he would put, what's Will Smith's kid's name? Jada or Wilson, or I can't remember, Willow, or I can't remember the kid's name. Jaden, I think. That kid's got some out there tweets. I think John Doe would just blow him out of the water, you know, with his tweets. I mean, you remember whenever in Seven when they went into John Doe's apartment, and there's all those notebooks, and they're just like lined up with words, just even all over the place and everything. Yeah, I think if he could keep it short enough, his tweets would be just bonkers. All right, so that's why I think he would do some awesome tweets. All right, now as for who I think would give the worst tweets, I'm gonna have to go with Michael Myers from Halloween, because Michael doesn't talk, and I get a feeling Michael can't. I don't know. I get a feeling all of Michael's thoughts, if he were to tweet his thoughts, all you would get all day long would just be emojis of butcher knives and skeletons and the Grim Reaper and all that, just all through the whole thing. I mean, I think if he kept on, Twitter would eventually just like, hey, dude, you're blocked. You're banned. Sorry. So yeah, I don't think I would want Michael Myers. I think he would have the worst tweets. All right. Okay, moving on. Number 4, YouTube. And I said, I've actually redone this video. I did this one time before, I made this video and I had it posted and ready to go, but I didn't like my answers at the particular time. So I decided to redo it. And I said in the original video, I said, picking YouTube, I said I'm about to bite the hand that feeds me, and then I thought, you know what, they don't feed me. You know, I don't make money off of this post, so YouTube is not feeding me, so I really don't care. Anyway, which horror character would you be most likely to subscribe to, and which would you be least likely to subscribe to? So for the one that I would be most likely, to subscribe to would be Hannibal Lecter. Because I think Hannibal Lecter would make some awesome cooking videos. You know, of course, he wouldn't tell you where he got the meat from, but he would make some just awesome cooking videos. And if you wanted to follow along with him, you could get your own meat. You don't have to get the meat that he uses, because we all know where that meat came from. And I think it would be great. I think it would just blow, as a cooking channel, I think it would just blow up YouTube. I think it would be awesome. No, everybody would want to follow. He would have 1 million subscribers, I think. All right. Now, as to who I would not subscribe to, and that is a character, and I don't have the book with me. I will post a picture of the book. I put it away. But Hoyt from Cruel Summer. I've talked about Hoyt before. I've told you how much of a douchebag, a dickbag, you grab a bag and name the bag, and that's exactly what he is, kind of person. He's an abusive piece of crap, okay? And I would not, because I think that he would be one of those YouTubers that instead of having his own original material, he would just make fun of everybody else. You know, that's how much of a jerk he is. So, yeah, I would not subscribe to him whatsoever. Forget that. All right. So, moving on. Number 5. And I don't know if this is actually social media, but I'm going to consider it to be social media. Tinder. And it's funny because I had to ask one of my fellow booktubers, and I'm not going to mention her name because, and you know who you are, so I'm saying thank you right now. But when I texted her and I said, hey, what's the name of the dating app that you swipe right and swipe left on if you like or dislike somebody? And she's like, I think it's Tinder. You know, and I got to thinking, I said, she's probably sitting there going, why is he texting me with this? Why is he asking me? I don't use this. But yeah, it's Tinder. So my question on this one is, which horror character are you most likely to swipe right for, and which one are you most likely to swipe left for? All right. So for swiping right, I am going to choose Eleanor Crane from The Haunting of Hill House. And mainly from the TV series. Now, don't get me wrong, I love The Haunting of Hill House, the novel. You know, you guys know how big a fan I am of that book. And the movie, I think the series is a masterpiece. But I think I'm picking the one because I think Victoria Pedretti, for one thing, played Eleanor so beautifully in that series. And I felt so bad for her. I mean, it was Eleanor, I would go on a date with Eleanor in a heartbeat, you know, and maybe that would help her life to be a little bit better. I don't know. It might not. I mean, I'm not bragging on myself or anything, but I loved Eleanor from that series. So yeah, I would definitely swipe right for Eleanor, you know, just right away. Now, who would I swipe left for? Okay, so there is a character in the Anno Dracula series, and she's also in the Warhammer horror series. But from what I understand, her character is different in Warhammer than it is, even though they're the same person, than it is in the Anno Dracula. But the character of Genevieve Dudonay in the Anno Dracula series, I absolutely adore. However, and she's described as a lovely girl. She's 500 years old. I mean, she's smart. She's resilient. You know, I mean, she's perfect girl. The only thing about it is, though, is that, okay, she's 500 years old because she got bitten 500 years ago. However, when she got bitten, she was only 16. So I would be thinking, okay, if just because you are 500 years old, you're still only technically 16. So I'll be like, no, can't do that and everything. You shouldn't even be on here. You're not supposed to. You're not 18. You shouldn't be on here, kind of thing. So I would swipe left for Genevieve. You know, even though she's that old, she's technically not that old. You know, it's like, you remember in Let the Right One In? Whenever, I think it's Oscar, I think his name is, I may be wrong, I'm sorry, asked Eli, how old are you? And she said, I'm 12. But I've been 12 for a long time. Okay, if it looks like a 12-year-old and walks like a 12-year-old, it's a 12-year-old. I don't care if it's 100 years down the line, been living that long, it's 12 years old. And, you know, for you Green Lantern fans out there, you should know all about that, since he dated an alien who is technically 13 or 14 years old. But she made herself look like a 25-year-old woman. Nope, 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 nope. Sorry, you're 12 or 13 years old is what you are. So, anyway, and I'm sorry, that was a long explanation for that. I apologize for that. All right, so now I have an optional, because the reason I'm saying optional on this one is you don't have to answer this if you don't want to, or if you can't come up with an answer, but because I could not think of one. But TikTok. Which horror character would have the most annoying TikToks? That's the question. Which one would have the most annoying TikToks? Okay? So, there you go. That is the horrors of social media tag. So now it is time for me to tag somebody. Tag some people here. And I got a list. Okay? I'm not just tagging 2 or 3 people this time. I'm tagging quite a few. Alright, so I tag E.D. Lewis Reviews, Working Man Reads, Pax Panic, Regina's Haunted Library, Typical Books, Marie McWilliams, The Book Pusher, Criminale, Monsterblood, The Bookish Bryants, Plagued by Visions, and Mindy's Book Journey. You guys have all been tagged for the all-new original Horrors of Social Media tag. Alright? So, until next time, thank you guys for watching, and as usual, take care and stay scared. Bye-bye.